This is stage 4 of Vive la France, and I love doing crits, even Zwift crits. But this course, I always found a challenge for me. Hey cycling community, this is Steve, Grusis the Cycling Greek. I don't know why this course is so tough for me. It could be the amount of climbing in there, though even though there's not a lot of climbing, but maybe the particular configuration of how the climbs are set up. There's one section where if the group is really hoofing it, it can crush me, and you may get a chance to see that later. For the last month or so, I've been doing 1, sometimes 2 Zwift races a week, and I can tell that my upper end has been improving. And even though I tend toward the flat courses on the Zwift racing, it's been improving my climbing, or at least not letting it degrade as much, because I haven't been able to do a lot of climbing because of the weather we've been having. The weather, damn hot. The only time I can climb are on Saturdays when we start off really early on our group rides. And climbing is important to me, at least for the moment, because I have a climbing road race coming up in about 1 week. While the other races I've done have been about 15 plus miles, this one's about 10.2 miles, and we have 55 starters. We've already lost about maybe 10 in the first half mile. I am doing what I usually do, or at least what I usually want to do, is to stay toward the front. And that's more for self-protection. The less people that are in front of me, the less people that'll gap me. Wow, that's the first time that ever happened, where everyone just disappeared. For those of you not familiar with my channel, let's put a cap on that. We have an attack by 40-year-old DJ Gordon from the United States. An obvious question is, why attack now? Unless there's some sort of points for a green jersey in the stage race, the most obvious answer is going to be that he's trying to draw some other people out, form a smaller group, and have a chance for a higher placing. I definitely have to read the race Bible before these races. DJ gets the finish banner before we do, so if there was a point system, DJ's got some points. If you look at the instrument map in the upper right hand corner, DJ's got about 3 seconds on us, is what I'm guessing. And what I'm also guessing is that the pack is starting to get a little nervous, so people are starting to jump or try to jump across to him. And it may be that DJ ends with a small breakaway. I'm also guessing that most of the pack knows this, and they don't want a small breakaway to happen unless they're in that small breakaway. So everyone's chasing, and we're all getting lined out. Speaking of climbs earlier, we're on a 3% incline, and I'm pretty much going as fast as I can go. This is where I have to manage my intensity, because I can go faster, but then there's a good chance that I'll redline and then just have to slow before I need to do what I need to do, which in this case is stay with the front group. For a moment, it looked like they were going to slow down, but there was more surging and possibly counterattacking. They were lined out again, and I'm almost starting to go backwards. I am in 16th place currently, and I'm starting to pass some people up only because they're starting to die out, I think. I've got my ugly face on in the lower left-hand corner, and it looks like I'm putting out some effort, but keep in mind that this is sped up to 3 times regular speed. So it took a while for me to get there. And this is the reason for the title of this video, Decision Point. I had a number of decision points. So a decision point in this case is where you're on the edge but not totally out. You've put in some massive numbers, and anybody watching this video will say, yeah, you've done all you could. But you really hadn't. You just have a little bit more. If you can just hang on for another 2-4 seconds, then you'll be fine. You literally make the decision to put in those extra pedal strokes. And this wasn't my only decision point. We have now jumped almost a lap ahead to 3.5 miles to go, and it's on the last lap, and I find myself in the same position. We are on a 2 and 3% grade. There's an attack that's gone off. I've now gone to about 19th position, and there's only about 22 of us left in this group at the moment. If I wasn't so reamed right now, I'd feel fortunate that I was still with the front group, but that may be fleeting. I'm actually starting to look at the graphics on the right to see how far the next group is behind me. Right now they're about 18 seconds, and I'm just about the last one on a group, in a group that's lined out, but not only lined out with gaps between almost every rider. From the looks of things, I can't go as fast as the others, but I can go fast for a longer time than many of these riders. At least that's what I like to think. And again, this was a decision point. It would be so easy to say, yes, I've done all I could. But if I had that extra 2 seconds, and I chose not to stay in for those extra 2 seconds to see if I could stay connected, then I wouldn't have the experience of connecting with them if I was able to connect, and then figuring out what to do next. There is value to putting yourself on the edge, to forcing yourself into failure. Who remembers the Dirty Harry series where Clint Eastwood said, a man's got to know his limitations. The thing about going to failure is that the next time, failure's a little farther out. Speaking of, it's now 3 kilometers to go, and there's another attack. Forget trying to jump away from these guys before the sprint. I'm just trying to hang on. Right now we lost a few more people and we're down to a group of 17. Oh yes, that one thing I was going to mention before DJ attacked. For those of you not familiar with my channel, I'm all about consistent effective exercise to decrease your morbidity and increase your functionality as you get older. Even though I'm not thinking about it during the race, all that lactic acid I'm producing, it's going to help my blood-brain barrier and my brain in ways to decrease the probability of dementia-related illnesses. During my little spiel, there was an attack. That guy's coming back. There's another guy that went after him, and now he's coming back, and we're becoming Grupo Compacto. Now we're going to go in the tunnel, and this is actually the tough part. Not only going down, but especially going up, especially on the last lap. I have some ugly face going on, but I've been in good position, so now I'm toward the back of the group, about 15th position. Again, there's about 17 left in our group, and I don't want to go toward the front. Being in the back is where I want to be in case I want to make a run for it. But of course I know I'm not going to make a run for it because this has been reaming me. My wattage is low and my heart rate is high. That means I'm doing a quick recovery. All I want to do is just hang with this group. 0.4 miles to go. The next rider is about 6 seconds back. I'm doing over 300 watts just to stay connected to somebody's wheel. We are on a 2% gradient. You can look at the instrument map and see that the finish is coming up. I'm doing over 500 watts and I still can't get orange numbers like most everyone else can, except for the guy in back of me. I finished 16th. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it. As always, remember, comment, like, subscribe,